Hello, I am Xarkun. This is World of Warships Legends. Today I've got a capture the base mode game for you on the Fault Line map. I'm in the premium Tier 5 German destroyer T-61. And this is a great ship. It really is. I think it might be one of the best destroyers at Tier 5, Tech Tree or Premium. And I'm not going to talk too much about the ship's stats or anything like that. Instead, I'm just going to call the shots on this game as they happen, and I'll talk about some of the benefits of the ship related to things like its consumables and torpedo reload time and gun reload time, all that. You'll notice that it does have sonar, much like all of the other German destroyers, and it has smoke. The smoke sonar combo is a very powerful thing, especially at Tier 5. And why is that? Well, because the sonar consumable is German, I think it does get a little extra range in its ability to spot ships, which means if you've got an enemy destroyer smoked up in front of you, you can turn the sonar on, rush at their smoke screen. The sonar is going to detect any torpedoes they might have fired in your direction and give you a better chance to avoid them. And then the sonar is going to detect the enemy destroyer itself if it's still sitting in its smoke screen as you approach it. And the same is true of you if you are sitting in one of your smoke screens. You turn on that sonar, it'll give you advanced warning of any incoming torpedoes because, as we know, smoke screens are torpedo magnets. And it will also give you a little bit of a head start on any destroyer that might be rushing your smoke screen because it'll spot them, hopefully before they are able to spot you, unless of course they are a German destroyer also running sonar. The torpedoes, too, pretty excellent, pretty fast reloading too. I think the reload time is just over a minute. Now they don't, much like the other German torpedoes, have the highest alpha strike in the world or anything, but since they reload quickly and they have an 8-kilometer range, you can really sort of sling them out there with this ship. Even with the build, the commander build that I have, it is Bay, of course. I think he's rank 14. Using twist and track on him, that's something I do not want to give up. I know a lot of people extol the virtues of running, what's his name, Spey on this ship. He's more the torpedo boat commander, and maybe one day I'll try him, but I do like this Bay build. First up, though, spot an enemy destroyer. I am more concealed than he is, actually, and it's Vabuki who is smoking up. So immediately we pop on the sonar. We're going to launch torpedoes kind of where we suspect the Vabuki might be, although I think those torpedoes are completely off the mark looking back at this now. Then we're going to kind of rush his smoke screen here. If he's still sitting in it, we should be able to spot him before he sees us, and then we can use our guns to deal damage to him. The guns, there's only 4 of them, so not quite as much as guns on other destroyers. I think they're 127, 128 millimeters. They aren't the big cruiser caliber German destroyer guns like the Geta or the Z-23 at Tier 7 has. But they reload pretty quickly with this Bay build, and they should be good for taking out a Vabuki. This Vabuki, though, he is no fool, probably a bit of an experienced player. He's not inside the smoke screen anymore. So we're going to commandeer the smoke screen, fire some AP at this mostly broadside Marblehead, see if we can't do anything, maybe inflict some Citadel hits on him. But he's turning in, he's angling, and the Vabuki's smoke screen is about to run out. Luckily, we have a charge of our own smoke screen, and I kind of didn't really want to have to use it here, but I fired my guns just as the Vabuki's smoke screen dissipated, and so I got spotted, immediately taking fire from some enemy ships over there to the right of me. And as you can see, they are pushing down this eastern flank of the map. Several battleships are toward our base, and Between them stands only one friendly battleship, so I am going to launch some torpedoes at this California, who appears to be sailing in a straight line, and then I'm going to turn back to try and defend the base. There is that Fubuki, though, 4 kilometers away from us. We're going to open fire on him with our guns. Unfortunately, we're still pretty close to the Marblehead, who is hitting us and is doing some damage, but as we get further away from him, it's going to be very difficult for him to hit us with his floaty shell arcs, and we are going to try to dodge all of the incoming salvos, stop firing our own guns so that we go undetected. Our priority isn't to deal damage to these guys anyway, aside from those torpedoes that do manage to connect with the California. Looks like there's 4 hits, but that only brings us to 38,000 damage. I guess nearly 39,000 damage. In any case, that's 4 torpedoes, and you can see that they don't hit super hard, not compared to maybe something like the Fubuki's torpedoes, but they do enough damage, they cause floods. I guess we're not immediately going back to the base to defend it. We see this Bayern coming around the corner, and the other friendly destroyer is right there by this island, looking like he might want to try to suicide torp this Bayern, firing at that Fubuki, reversing away from that gap. We're going to launch some torpedoes down it at the Bayern. Hopefully he's not going to expect them. Obviously he can see the friendly destroyer, but to him it shouldn't look like that guy has the angle to launch torpedoes on him, so hopefully these will take him by surprise. Spotted, though, by that Bayern as he comes around the island. Don't take any shots from anybody, so that's good. And the torpedoes do look like at least 2 of them might hit. The Bayern is turning out. Maybe one will even hit the Fubuki. Nah, he goes down to the friendly destroyer's fire. And torpedoes are getting close. We get 2 hits, and actually it's enough to take the Bayern out, which is quite nice. That kind of clears out the enemy base, and it's going to allow our team to enter it and contest it. But this Iron Duke right in front of me, he's requesting support, and he definitely is going to need some. I think it's probably more important for me to come back here and defend my own base than it is to try and get on the enemy camp, particularly since there are going to be 2 battleships inside of our base pretty much immediately. That Iron Duke is turning away, and another friendly battleship is coming to support. The second enemy destroyer is spotted inside of our base now, so that definitely changes the equation and reinforces in my mind that it was absolutely the correct decision to come back and defend my own base, as it often is. Not going to sail into that gap, though, with the enemy battleships. They'll spot me if I do. Torpedoes are on the way, though, and with any luck, this battleship will be sailing in a straight line like the rest before him essentially have been, and it looks like those torpedoes are probably very much on target. Yep. Yeah. Immediately, the battleship vanishes, sinks, goes to the bottom. We get a devastating strike. That is our 2nd kill of the game, and we're up to 80,000 damage. Things are looking really good right now, though. Earlier, when we were launching torpedoes at that Bayern near the enemy base, the enemy was ahead of us on points and by kills, and the tide has completely turned. Now they are very far behind us on both points and kills, and there's probably no way they're going to make up the ground and win this game. Can we get a torpedo hit on this Ishizuchi, though? That is the question. Is he going to continue to sail in a straight line as well? Perhaps we shouldn't be shooting this Fubuki, because that does reveal our presence to that Ishizuchi, so he might, be able to dodge the torpedoes, but I suppose it's probably a good idea to take this guy out while we still have the support of a friendly battleship. Don't want him to go down to any nuclear Japanese underwater missiles. And once again, torpedoes are on target against the enemy Ishizuchi, and they take him out for our 4th kill of the game. giving us the high caliber medal, another devastating strike, and the Confederate medal to boot. So, T-61, pretty dang good ship with its quick torpedo reload time, that sonar consumable, and the smoke screen, even though we didn't really get to see that consumable and smoke screen combo in action. You know, we got to see a lot more torpedo action, 12 torpedo hits, just going to show that this is a very versatile ship. It can obviously deal damage to enemy destroyers with its guns. It can use the utility of its consumables to spot and counter enemy destroyers, and it launches torpedoes pretty quickly, can kind of just sling them out there and take down unsuspecting enemy battleships. Always a fun time. So I hope you enjoyed this look at the T-61. If you did, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already. We are actually nearly at 3,000 subscribers, which is just so fantastic. Thank you guys so much. I will see you next time. Goodbye.